Hey, beautiful people of the interwebs, Wayne Hackman here, aka Whackstar, and in this video I've come to Nakuru National Park, where my plan is just to set up the Nissan Patrol camping setup and see how I get along. Why don't you come along for the ride and let's enjoy this together. For those of you who've been on the channel for a while, you know that I did a series of upgrading a Nissan Patrol, which I bought at the early part of this year. And I've been wanting to really put it to its paces, but sadly it's had a bit of trouble. It got crunched by a truck in Nakuru about sort of 4 months ago. And I've only just got it back. However, the good news for that is I've managed to get it resprayed, and it's looking pretty tidy at the moment. So I only really got it back a couple of weeks ago, and this is the first opportunity I have had to go out and see how my camping setup is going to work. So here we are at the public campsite. This is where we're going to pitch for the night. There's some beautiful waterfalls just ahead of me, which I think I can walk up to and have a little look-see. But let's see if we can find a decent pitch first, where hopefully there's not too many people. So here we are. This is the campsite. It's not a bad place. Very basic amenities. But there is a school party here. I'm really hoping that they go. I've been told by Joshua, the person who's in charge of the campsite, that they are just using the bathroom and chilling out. So I'm going to set the site up. You can see the patrol here, and yeah, let's set the site up. Let's make myself at home, see what we can do. The awning is up, and then you can see also I use a tarpaulin for the back area, which I also have as part of my emergency kit that I take out on the motorbike with me. Let's just go around and have a little look at what has been set up. Let's start at the back here. So you can see here I've got this drawer system that I put in a while back, and this drawer system on this side in particular I use as my galley. And then on this side you can see this is my tool setup. I have a 300 watt inverter providing electricity to the car, so if I need to charge some laptops. And you can see here I've got my bed, which is just right for me just to chill out and relax. You can see here that this tarpaulin that I bought, that I use when I'm out on the motorbike, also comes in handy as a little extra shelter, particularly when it's raining, which you can hear it is doing so now. What else do I like about this rig? Well, a little bit later on you can see that I've set up my old Kenwood TS50 there, so we'll see if we can gather some contacts later. And that goes into a diamond antenna here with mag mount, and that goes to the front of the vehicle there, and maybe we'll see if we can make some contacts with that as well. We go around to the awning. You can see the awning is all set up, and here you got my cooler, which is very important. A little extension cable should if I want to work on my laptop and it runs out here, and then water and radio and various tools. So I'm really pleased with how this is all set up. And like I say, this is the first time that I've really taken this out into the world, so to speak, certainly since the accident. I have tested this setup once before at a friend of mine. I went and did a funeral and camped in his garden, but yeah, let's see how we get on with this setup. Alright, I've laid out a little bit of a fire pit here for the fire. I'm going to just experiment with a little hack that I've been thinking about if you want to light a fire really quickly. And one thing I've noticed is that we all have these things around now. This is 75% alcohol. This one is also a 70% alcohol. And Joe, I just thought it'd be quite interesting to see if we could light a fire with this. I've got my Mora Light My Fire here. Move those well away and see if we can get a light. Because I thought this could be quite a fun little survival hack. You guys have seen this before. This is my Mora Light My Fire, where you can do this and it'll create lots of sparks. Here we go. Oops. Try again. Here we go. There we go. Look at that. And lit. Oh wow, that's a fun way of starting a fire. So there you go, a nice little survival hack if you want to light a fire quick. Now, if you've ever visited Africa, particularly on the equator, and you've gone on safari, you'll often hear of this phrase, should we have a sundowner? And a sundowner is very, very simple, because the sun sets sometime between, you know, 6:30 and 7:30, depending where you are on the equator. The great thing about being on the equator is that, you know, pretty much 12 hours of darkness, 12 hours of daylight. And so you get into this pattern where around 6:30, maybe a little earlier, depending, that you have a sundowner. Now this is the perfect sundowner, and I have gone and got me some bits and pieces. Here we have ice, plenty of ice, always important. Note, not a glass, although that's my personal preference. Good old Gilbey's gin. Distilled this actually distilled in the United Kingdom, but this seems to be one of the more popular gins in Kenya. Although I am a bit partial to some Plymouth gin, light Plymouth gin, or a bit of Tanqueray, or if I'm feeling flush, some Hendrix. But good old Gilbey's gin will do for a nice little equatorial sundowner, if it will indeed let me get into it. Oh my goodness, that was hard work. So you want a reasonable helping, and then, because I didn't bring any lemon or lime with me, that's the other thing that we need. Oh, we need a good tonic. This one's just appeared in Kenya quite recently. It is Fitchin Leeds Pink Tonic, sparkling rose and cucumber flavoured drink. Of course, we're going to add that to the gin. And there you have it, the perfect sundowner for an African evening. So I'm going to settle back, enjoy the fire, and enjoy my sundowner. So you can see that I can lay quite comfortably in the car here with a mattress on one side. And I did indeed sleep well last night. I must be honest that when I used to camp as a kid, I always used to take the bare minimum with me. And I always had a rough night's sleep because I'd just be laying perhaps on a very thin mat in a sleeping bag. But I think as you get older, you realise that if you can sleep well, then you enjoy the day next day much better. And so indeed having a nice comfortable mattress in the back of the car really does help. And I just cracked the windows in here, and yeah, it's just a fairly pleasant place to relax. So let's talk about the Nissan Patrol. So I haven't been able to use it as much as I would like. I've had it for a while, and this is the first real off-roading I've done, and you could hardly call this off-roading. However, I have to say, in the short amount I'm doing, the running gear is so much better. It's so much better, so much more capable on this. The engine is slightly underpowered, however, I'm not going fast anyway. And I put a square hitch accessory on the back, where I'm hoping to mount my motorbike at some point and get a trailer. So all in all, I'm really pleased with it. I've got the car to a place where I like it. I've obviously got the awning and the draw system, which I've installed, and you can see all those in other videos. I've installed a radio, and I was just playing around with that this morning, just listening to a Japanese station on my diamond antenna through my Kenwood TS50. Not made any contacts on it yet, so I just need to make sure that I'm actually putting power out. But that's a new experience to me as well. So what's the future for the Nissan? I must admit, I was getting close to selling it. I was getting frustrated, but I'm glad I hung on to it, because the accident, not that you can see it now, for a little extra money, I actually got the whole car resprayed. And I'm really, really pleased with that. It looks a lot tidier now, and I'm really, really pleased with that. I've obviously got the solar system in there, and I was trying that last night. It was useful charging phones and also my laptop, which was great. And so there's two other things I want to do on there, well, three other things if I can afford it. One thing coming up very soon is I'm going to put an air system into this. So I've got an air compressor and an air tank coming, and I've already got the hose accessories. So that's a video coming up that you can look forward to. What else have I got coming? Also, a winch. I really would like to get a winch at some point. There's just been a couple of times which I'm pretty certain that if I had a winch, it would have just easily got me out of that situation. And I know that that will bring a bit of peace of mind. And I've also got a few adventures coming up in the new year. I've got a friend of mine down in the Loiter Hills, which we visited, well, I visited with a while back, and he wants to build a well. And I think that's a project that I'd really like to get behind him and support him with. And I've also have some friends down further south in Kenya, and I'd like to go visit them. And that's a real trek, that one. So I'm looking forward to bringing to that. So I'm not going to get rid of the Patrol just yet. So far, despite the difficulties that I've had, we're okay. And I'm looking forward to bringing some more adventures to you over the coming weeks and months. Anyway, I'm going to be in the park now for a few more hours. I'm just going to contemplate about packing down, and then we'll go for a little game drive to see what we can see. Right, let's see how long this takes me to pack down. There we go, all packed up. Took me just over 10 minutes, so about 12-13 minutes to sort all of that out. Let's go for a game drive. So you can see the great and wonderful Lake Nakuru behind me. Really enjoyed this little 24 excursion away into the park. The patrol has performed admirably, and so I'm just going to sit here, enjoy the view, have a beverage, and then it's time to head out. If you have been watching, thanks so much. Please rate and subscribe, do all of the things that YouTubers do, and I'll catch you in the next adventure. Bye.